Hello and welcome to all the vampires and ghouls out there. I'm Joe here with Miss Makaro Stan.
Hello and greetings.
And today we're continuing with our reading of Frankenstein, and it's going to be chapter 1 and 2 that we proceed with the first chapter revealing that Victor was Genoese, which that's horrifying to find out. So already we know we can't trust him. Because the Genoese bankers and navy and whatnot, they had a bad reputation in the Middle Ages.
And the fact that Victor's father, the
respected Genoese guy and businessman. Yeah, that just adds to the distrust I feel towards him. But anyways, Victor's dad was apparently well loved in the community. Everybody wanted to be him or be with him. I'm kidding. Except for the fact that he devoted all his attention to work because he was an incel. And his best mate, though, was clearly not father to daughter, but was terrible at business, so he keeled over all of a sudden. And his daughter, who had taken care of him, was taken in by Victor's dad, who sent her off to boarding school for 2 years before just deciding, okay, I can't meet anyone else. And so he fell in love with her and married her. There was apparently a huge age gap between them, and it just heightened the love between them. And then a little while later, Victor was born, and Victor was to have a younger brother born 7 years his junior. And then, of course, before that, though, there was the fact that mommy wanted a daughter, so she decided to adopt Elizabeth, a peasant girl whom Victor is rather taken with. And just real quick, it irks me that for years I've been lied to about Elizabeth, because I was told, oh, she's Victor's cousin. And I had asked when I was young, cousin as in the Shakespearean sense of best friend, or cousin as in biological? And I was told biological, when that was a lie. So having just read through the first two chapters, I found out, no, they were basically best friends just calling each other family. So that's rather insulting and annoying. But Elizabeth is not biologically his family, so there's no incest there. Victor's younger brother, as noted, is 7 years his junior. And apparently in his youth, Victor attaches himself by friendship to a guy called Henry Clerval, who becomes an author and actor and poet, and who's often encouraging Victor and Elizabeth to join him in the rather uncouth practice of participating in plays and whatnot. I'm joking. But apparently, Henry was the son of a merchant and had dreams of becoming a great adventurer, warrior, general. But clearly, he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. He wants to be a great poet and author and whatnot, and he is, but he wants more than that. So he suffers from the problems and flaws of the author bug, the artistic bug, which is to say, you want more than what you've got, to an extent. The thing is, artists are hungry creatures, never satisfied with what they have, and they want the next meal ahead of time.
At least he likes King Arthur.
Yep, that's a good thing. And if only more people today liked King Arthur and Arthuriana. Sad to see it just decline to nothing these days. But then there's the fact that the last sentence caught my eye, with Victor blaming destiny for his destruction. Still not taking responsibility, hey, Victor?
So much for the lessons that his parents want to instill about patience, charity, and self-control.
He clearly had none of those traits.
Exactly.
I'm already just finding, I just find myself pitying his parents and just thinking Elizabeth should have gone for Henry rather than him. Because Victor suffers from the flaws of the rich son, the son of a guy newly come to his wealth. Spoiled, arrogant, and does not think the rules apply to himself. The trouble is he is incredibly intelligent but incredibly arrogant, thinking himself like having permission to challenge essentially God himself and to match his ego to God's. And it just seems
Calling major thinkers and authors of science obsolete
yeah.
is rather arrogant of him.
Oh, that too, yes. And I'm already mentally kind of comparing it to the Baron Frankenstein from the Hammer movies. And in there, it's weird, but it seems like they toned down the ego a little, I think. I know Peter Cushing plays a very egotistical Frankenstein, but it seems like Victor is a little more compromising, a little more level-headed, and a little less self-deluded than in the novel. I'm not trying to be overly critical. I actually am enjoying this. This is a really good read. But Victor Frankenstein is not a particularly likable lead to an extent. He's an arrogant fool in a lot of ways. I know where the story's going, so that kind of colors my view, but just looking at just him go, well, my life gets ruined because of destiny or because of others. It's not really my fault. What? Take an ounce of responsibility. But anyways, it seems like his parents gave him the idyllic childhood, which good for him, I guess.
He may have loved his parents very passionately with the way he describes them.
Yeah, if only more people, if only we still ingrain in people filial piety as a virtue, as well as learning. I know I'm railing on and on about this situation. It's just, well, I'm a history major, so I always feel sorrowful for the fact that the history departments are just in shambles and just neglected by everyone. And the fact that in education, history is always put on the back burner, which is a terrible mistake. But anyways, so far the horror has yet to kick in, and we're probably going to have to tune in for our next time for the start, I guess. I'm guessing. I don't know.
We'll have to see.
Alright, so smash that like and that subscribe button as though you were the Universal Studios version of Frankenstein hammering away at Victor